Madoweka, Nanadiatsa, Charlotte Naya McCurtain. My Numina name is taken from my mother's given name, her Indian name, and that is Tatsai Vita. And what that means is somebody who's good at catching up with someone. She was real sick as a young child, and her and her cousin were both sick, and they had a Native American church meeting, and they had to pray over her being ill. And in a Native American church, what they do to give them strength to make themselves better. A long time ago, the Comanche way is they gave everybody warrior names. So that's how she got her name, Tatsai Vita. So I'm very proud to be given that name by my brother. And this is my husband's, Larry McCurtain. And he's a member of the Kiowa tribe and the Cheyenne tribe. And he's the one person that's been really the instrumental person as far as having our family powwow. And last year it was our 22nd year. We had it for 10 years in southwestern Oklahoma because that's where the Comanche tribal, the biggest population of tribal members live in the southwest Oklahoma area. We don't have reservations, but that's where a lot of our allotments that were given to us were in southwest Oklahoma. So we had our powwow there for 10 years, and Larry was the organizer of our first powwow, and that was in respect for my aunt. She had been on dialysis for a number of years, and she was a recipient of a kidney transplant. So in order to just honor her and show a blessing, we had our first powwow in her honor. And her name was Betty Pachika Chapabetty. And we had gone down there through down to Fredericksburg for the 150th celebration of the treaty. And I think it was in 96. In 96. And one of the organizers there, I had told him that my great-grandmother, Tekwayetsa, which means stands and speaks, she was born outside of Fredericksburg. And because there's a known trailway that the Comanche people took for numbers of years going down to Mexico, we were good, horse people. And we did a lot of trading, but we also went to Mexico, and that's where a lot of our horses came from. And it was just a regular trailway. And on one occasion, my great-grandmother was born there. And we always knew that. She would always tell us she was born in a German town. So we went down to the celebration of the treaty, the 1847 treaty between the Germans and the Comanches. And it came to be known by some of the people there that my great-grandmother was born there. And then we had heard later that the townspeople were interested, and they were so appreciative of that 150th celebration that they wanted to go ahead and have another powwow. And so some of the organizers remember that I had got up and I had explained about my great-grandmother, and they had approached Larry and a friend of ours about the possibility of moving our powwow to Fredericksburg. And that was a big task because we lived like 400 miles away from Fredericksburg, Texas. But we thought about it, and we thought, well, that's the birthplace of our great-grandmother, and we thought in her honor and in honor of the treaty, we took it upon ourselves to go ahead and do that. And so it was a real task, and it was a lot of work. I mean, actually just setting up a powwow is a lot of work, but it started to grow more and more and more. But we always try to keep it as traditional as possible. We took a lot of the expense on our own. Very rarely, I mean, I can't remember even one time during that first 11 years or 10 years that the town of Fredericksburg helped us financially. It was all through soliciting vendor donations for setting up the powwow, and our family did a lot of fundraising for some of the people that we had invited down, dancers and singers. So it was a lot of financial responsibility, but the powwow grew bigger and bigger, and I mean, at one occasion, right, Larry, there was like 150 vendors that were set up at our powwow. So it became bigger and well-known, but we still try to keep it as traditional as possible. And then there was some problems that came about with one of the volunteers, and then it was very disappointing, but we always just took it upon ourselves to do it. And like I said, as it grew bigger, it became more financial responsibility. And, that's what we needed. We needed help from the city. And I know throughout those years, we've seen a lot of growth in the city. And we heard from a lot of people, even the business people in Fredericksburg, about how they loved the powwow, how they wanted us to keep coming back. And things have been growing. I mean, tourism, it seems to me, I think we had some kind of impact on that. This year when we weren't able to have our powwow because the mayor was not going to, wasn't supporting us on that, I got a call from somebody who flew all the way from Germany to be there for the powwow, and they tracked me down back home in southwest Oklahoma and asking what happened. Well, I didn't know what to tell them. It just said things weren't working out as far as city support from the city government, and so things like that, it became so well known. People arranged their vacation time for the powwow, and these are people that came from Germany, and so that was kind of a disappointment that I had to explain to him. I'm sorry, maybe next year. But the way things are going, we need to get some real definite support from the city government, and not only the city, but I know Germany has an interest in the treaty themselves. They should. It's part of history, and it would be very nice if the country of Germany would be able to think about helping us so that we can start putting on the powwow again. But as it is now, with no support from the city government, and it's just something we have to consider as far as going back there. I think we deserve an apology from somebody from the city government, from the mayor's office, because we worked hard and tirelessly, and it was all to honor the treaty and the town of Fredericksburg. And we enjoyed it because townspeople seemed to love it. And so that's what we're asking for. We need to have some kind of support from the town and from the country of Germany. So I would like to turn this time over to my husband so he can express his opinion about this.